Good morning, I'm Justin Porter, and today's date's the 28th of September 2023, and the title of my video today is Death Anxiety and Death Denial. Now, I just wanted to say death denial and death anxiety. That's what I wanted to talk to about today. And which is an interesting subject. I want to talk about, because we're all going to die one day, and anxiety is caused by the fact that we might not exist. There'll be a time when we don't exist, and that causes people a lot of anxiety, and that's where the death anxiety comes from. And the way I look at it was the billions of years before we were born, we didn't exist. So for billions of years before we were born, we simply just did not exist. And and death denial is that we invent religions to cope with the fact that we may have an afterlife, and we may not die at all, And that's what I wanted to say, because we invent religion to help us cope with the fact that we're not going to be around forever, And oh wow. And wow. And do fruit bats go to heaven when they die? Do fruit bats get eternal life? What happens to fruit bats, Australia's largest bat? What happens to them when they die? Do they get everlasting life? Do they get resurrected from the dead? Do they get reincarnated? Well, if you answer you don't know, and neither do I, because I don't know. But if they don't get an afterlife, why should humans get an afterlife? And so that's an interesting concept. And there's thousands of hundreds of fruit bats up there. Hundreds of fruit bats, which is Australia's largest bat. Bats can fly. Bats have flight. Do bats know they're going to die? Do they get death anxiety? Well, the way I look at a rabbit runs away. A rabbit runs away from a fox that's chasing it, right? A rabbit runs away from a fox that's chasing it. And, does the rabbit know it's going to die? Like the rabbit knows it's going to die? And, it does, because it's running away from the fox. So do rabbits get death anxiety? I suppose they could. I suppose they could get death anxiety. We don't know. And so when I look at it, they could get death anxiety. So we invent religion to help us cope. A lot of people acquire billions of dollars that they'll never spend when they could help so many people with their money. But I think a lot of billionaires think that the more money they have, it's going to protect them from death, you know. That riches, and even in the Bible, which has a lot of good scriptures, there's a lot of truth in the Bible. There's one scripture in the Bible, I think it's Proverbs 18:11, or 11:18, or 8:11, or 11:8, and it says that the riches of the rich man are like a protective wall in his imagination. Or does it say something like that? It says that the riches of the rich are his strong town, and they're like a protective wall in his imagination, you know. And yeah, so that's the way it is. And but we all die. That pigeon up there is going to die. No one gets to live forever. And that's death denial religion. And because all of us have to come to the term that we're not going to live forever, and that our loved ones are going to die. And that causes us a lot of grief. That causes us a lot of grief and a lot of confusion. So religion comes along and helps us cope with the reality that we're going to see our dead loved ones again, and there is going to be a future life. So religion to me is death denial and helps ease death anxiety. That's the way I look at it. And it's interesting, you know. But yeah. Good morning. I had to stop talking because that lady probably thinks I'm talking to myself, you know. But it's funny how we care so much about what other people think of us, you know. But we do, as people, we care a lot about what other people think of us. And yeah, it's just the human nature that we have. We care what other people think of us. Just natural, you know. And yeah, so peaceful here, so peaceful and tranquil, and very lovely here. I love it here, it's so beautiful, and it's nice to be in nature, nice to enjoy nature, you know. It's beautiful, nice to be around, you know. And life is precious, it's valuable, and why throw it away, you know? Why throw it away? So if you're an ex-Jehovah's Witness that gets down and depressed, it's only natural. But stick with it, it gets easier. I left 5 years ago, and my life is getting easier. It is getting easier. You know, accepted the fact that I've lost a lot of friends, but I've also gained some very valuable friends. And it's just, isn't it better to have one friend made out of diamond than 100 friends made out of plastic? So isn't it better to have one friend made out of diamond than 100 plastic friends? Now, I have a couple of friends made out of diamond. I have some very good friends, and they're wonderful friends, and they cheer me up, and I'd be lost without them. My beautiful wife, I'd be lost without my beautiful wife. Funny how people throw out stuff. Look at all this stuff down here. Stuff down there. Rubbish that people have dumped. Like a dumping ground. People have thrown out a lot of rubbish. They dump stuff there. It's so sad, isn't it? Pristine environment. Isn't man like a parasite on the earth? You know, us humans, we think we're divine. Us humans think we're so special, made in God's image, and the universe was made for us. But what if humans are just a parasite on the earth? Just a parasite on the earth, and that's all we are, you know. A parasite on the earth, you know. Because we're just mucking up the earth. And this climate change thing is incredible, because humans may be the first animal on earth that will cause their own extinction. I don't know what caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. It might have been a meteorite, they reckon. But humans, we know what's destroying the earth, fossil fuels. But we can't change it because we have lives of luxury. And even this mobile phone was charged up with fossil fuels, you see. And how are we going to get rid of fossil fuels? You'll have to go down to the river and wash your clothing on the riverbank. You're going to have to live completely a different life, you know. And people don't want to give up their lifestyle. And it means you're going to mow the lawn without a petrol lawnmower. You've got to mow the lawn by hand. You've got to chop the tree down, not use a chainsaw, because wind power and solar energy, they're only good when it's a sunny day and when it's a windy day. And if we did go to renewable energy, we're going to have blackouts all the time. We'll have blackouts because the wind's not always blowing and the sun's not always shining. And, you know, so we really are in a tight fix. Since the Industrial Revolution, James Watt discovered the steam engine back in 1760, James Watt, and he responsible for the Industrial Revolution. You know, the Industrial Revolution started about 1760, and yeah, so we'll have to go back to the year 1760 and live like that. So no washing machines, you go down to a river and wash your clothes on the riverbank and smash them on the rocks so to clean out all the dirt. And horse and buggy, and who wants to live like that? People really don't want to live like that, horse and buggy, you know. So a lot of people now, we have death all around us now. With us now, we have so much death around us because of the pandemic we went through. The pandemic, a lot of people have death anxiety because of the pandemic. They have death anxiety because of the climate change, you know, the sea levels rising, and religion helps people with death anxiety by creating death denial. And, you know, so, yeah, I thought, yeah, I'll show you the beautiful surroundings, because I come here when I want to relax and I just want to unwind, and it makes me feel so good to be alive. It's so beautiful here in nature, you know, just enjoying nature is a beautiful thing. And yeah, so the title of the video, Death Anxiety and Death Denial, is that climate change is creating death anxiety, because some scientists think we're going to go extinct. I don't know. There may be some survivors from climate change, but everything the scientists have said has come true. A lot of religions run down science. They say, oh, we didn't evolve from apes. We didn't evolve from apes. Humans are apes. We evolved from humans, and humans are primates. Chimps evolved from chimps. Humans evolved from humans. But humans and chimpanzees are both primates, so our ancestors were primates because we're primates. We're still apes. Humans are still apes, but the religious, say Adam and Eve, so they deny science. By denying that humans are primates, we're just meat puppets. Human beings are just defecating meat puppets, believe it or not, and parasites on the earth. We're defecating meat puppets, and we're parasites on the earth, because we're not only are we destroying the earth, we're destroying the nature. The polar bears in the Antarctic and they need ice to hunt. The fish in the ocean, they need the water to be a certain temperature. It can't be a certain temperature, it gets too hot. So what happens is that the fish die. So we're not only harming ourselves. So a lot of people have death anxiety at the moment because of climate change. There's a lot of death anxiety because of climate change. And then death denial. Here comes religion. The scientists warned us about climate change 30, 40 years ago. They warned us about climate change, and everything the scientists have said has come true. Everything Jehovah's Witnesses have said hasn't come true. For instance, the May 15th Watchtower, 1984, said all the people on the cover of the Watchtower magazine, the generation that will not pass away. The oldest person on the cover of that Watchtower, 15th of May 1984, was born in 1892. Youngest was born in 1908. And they're all dead. They're all dead. All of them are dead on the cover of that magazine. And then Watchtower said that 975, stay alive till 975. It'll mark 6,000 years since Adam. And so what happened? 975 came and it went. 976 came. I was 14 years old in 1975. Wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. And what happened is 1975 was a false prophecy. And not only that, the generation of 1914 not dying off was also, because all the 1914 generation are gone now. They're all gone, So, yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. They're all gone. That generation's gone. So Watchtower was a false prophet. Everything they said didn't happen. It didn't happen. Jehovah's Witnesses say, there's a scripture in Thessalonians that say whenever they're crying out peace and security, that's when sudden destruction will be upon them all. Yeah, whenever they're crying out peace and security. Well, nowadays there's no peace and security. There's homelessness, there's starvation, there's rising sea levels, there's floods. There's no peace and security now on earth. Russia, Ukraine war. There's no peace. Friction between America and China and just friction. There's all this friction and there's no peace. There's no peace. So everything the religions say, even Jesus said in Matthew chapter 24 that this generation will not pass away. Jesus was talking about his generation, and Jesus' generation all passed away. Jesus said that this generation will not pass away before they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds, which was Jesus, and that generation died off. So what religion says doesn't come true because Jesus hasn't returned, Jesus didn't take away the sin of the world, because after Jesus got crucified, people were still sinning. They were still sinning and doing evil things. So nothing changed. But what science says is all coming true. What the climate scientists said is all coming true. And so there is a lot of death anxiety with people because they worry about the future of their children and their grandchildren. It's okay for me, I'm a baby boomer, the best time's out, you're baby boomer, you're born between 1946 and 1964, and Generation X, 1965 to 1980, Millennials are 1981 to 1996, Generation Z is 1995 to 2010, and I think the Alpha generation is those who were born after 2010, you know. So there's a lot of things going wrong, you know, in the world, a lot of things going wrong. And yeah, you know, and so death anxiety and death denial. And the fruit bats have death anxiety. They're waving at us. They're waving at everyone in YouTube land. There's a fruit bat. Wow, they're waving. Wave to everyone in YouTube land. Wave to everybody. Wave to everybody. Wave to everyone. So the fruit bats know they're going to die. The fruits bat believe there's life after death. The fruit bats believe they're going to go to heaven when they die, because they can fly to heaven. And like people, fruit bats have got wings and they can fly to heaven, but we don't have wings, so us humans can't fly to heaven. You know, some people call them flying foxes. You can call them fruit bats or flying foxes, but yeah. So yeah, the flying foxes know they're going to go to heaven because they got wings. Do they get death anxiety? A lot of people think that humans are the only thing on earth that know it's going to die. A lot of people say that humans are being cursed with so much intelligence that we're the only animal on earth that realises we're going to die. But is that true? I often wonder about that. Does a rabbit running away from a fox? As I said before. Sorry if I repeat myself. I repeat myself a lot, but does a zebra know it's going to die when it's chased by a lion? When a zebra's just eating grass in a peaceful environment, does it know it's going to die one day? Or are humans the only thing? Bats are amazing, aren't they? Bats can fly. A flying mammal, they fly like a bird, right? Their blood temperature gets to about 41 degrees Celsius. Now, if your blood gets to 41 degrees Celsius, you'll die. That'll kill you. I think it's about 105 Fahrenheit. Yeah, 41 Celsius is about 105 Fahrenheit. So that'll kill you. That temperature will kill you, you know. So, yeah, there, you know. So that's what I wanted to say, you know. But, yeah, bats are the only ones, you know. And they get a high temperature, and viruses survive in that high temperature. Viruses survive in that high temperature, and they carry viruses, but the body of a fruit bat doesn't overreact to the virus. They don't create mucus. So when we got COVID-19, a lot of people drowned in their own mucus because their body overreacted to the virus, and a lot of people drowned in their own mucus because their body overreacted to COVID-19. But naturally, bats don't overreact to a virus, so they don't drown in their own mucus. The reason why their blood gets 41 degrees Celsius or 105 Fahrenheit, because they walk a lot, you know. So, fly a lot, they fly a lot. So, yeah, fascinating creatures. They've evolved flight. It's amazing, isn't it? When you think of a chicken, you know, a chicken, did chickens used to be able to fly? And they can no longer fly? And did emus be able to fly? Or are they evolving flight that one day emus will be able to fly and one day chickens can fly? Who knows? But it's been 26 minutes. Thank you for watching, and like and subscribe and share. Thank you. Justin Porter, bye.